Bonjour everyone and welcome in this video, the first in a while, because I didn't bought anything new until a few days ago when I went to my closest toy store, which is this toy store, and I bought quite a few items, as you can see. And so, without further ado, we're gonna start with the more basic stuff. Oh, by the way, I will when I was at that store, I did some little clips of what I saw there. Anyway, so we start with the more mundane or basic stuff, and we'll go to the more interesting stuff at the end. So we start with that Matchbox from a set, the Germany set. So that's why it has the special card art with the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, and we have the Mercedes-Benz W123 Wagon, although since it's a wagon it should be the S123. Anyway, it's not a new casting, but it's the first one that I have. So we're gonna opening this one. I won't open everything in this video, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so here it is out of the box. So you can see in a nice typical color for this car of the mid-70s to mid-80s. It's quite an iconic Mercedes car with a nice wheel. We're gonna check the back for the detail, if the thing wants to. It's a 300 TD. That doesn't stand for turbo diesel, but for touring diesel, I think. If it was a turbo diesel, which I don't think was something available for this particular generation, it would have an extra badge turbo diesel here. Anyway, so you can see the interior is whatever. I think we have some stuff in the back. Yes, that's a nice thing that Matchbox sometimes do, even when they put ugly post, but it is what it is, I guess. And yeah. Okay, that was the first one, which I paid because I know someone in particular care about that fact. And let me check on the receipt. I can't see it. I think I paid it around €3 or 3.50. I can't remember exactly. Yes, €3. Anyway, so then we're gonna move that because yes, that's better this way. So then we have two Hot Wheels, mainline Hot Wheels from this year. I don't know from which case, although I guess that this one is a bit earlier than this one, but that's the only thing I can tell you. So what did I bought these two? So as you can see, these are two American pickup trucks. We have the 1957 Jeep FC and the 1963 Studebaker Champ. So why did I bought them? Well, this one because Studebaker is a dead car brand, so it fit my collection, I guess, to collect unusual thing. And this one, the Jeep FC was a sale flops, but we'll get to that one later. So again, I'm showing you the back, but nothing really important. Okay, so it's out of the blister now. So this casting is quite old, if I remember correctly. Oops, it's upside down. Well, I guess they retooled it, but I think that this casting is from the early 2010s, if I remember correctly. Now, in a typical Hot Wheels way, they done it in a bit of a racing truck style. But in this case, it looked pretty good because I like that color. I like the stripes. They are a bit retro style, although maybe not retro from 1963, but more from the 70s and 80s, but it's fine to me. And I also like these wheels, aero disc, but again they more look 1980s retro than 60s retro, but overall I think it looked pretty good. So we have some tempo on the front and on the side, yes, Studebaker. Nothing on the back, and the interior is black with some bucket seat. Pretty nice. Next up we have, I'm gonna put this way. This one, like I said, so the Jeep FC, which stands for forward cab or control, I can't remember, was a product of Jeep in the 50s, when basically Jeep, which by that point was owned either by Willis or by Fraser or Kaiser. I will put that info later on. I forgot, but anyway. But in that time, in the post-war era, they wanted to have a bit of a more diverse lineup than the simple Jeep, and so they tried different things, including this. So it was more of a commercial van or trucks based on the Jeep, with basically the like its name imply, the cab was over the engine, so it's a cab over. It was meant to be a competitor to products like the Ford Econoline, the Dodge A100 and whatnot. Unfortunately for them, it failed, and so by the mid-60s they stopped making them, at least in the USA, because something quite interesting happened. When they stopped making them in something like 1966 or 67, they sold the tooling to Mahindra in India, which was already building some Jeeps, and so Mahindra kept making and selling the FC in India until the 2000, but they built it their own way, so they did a lot of body style and wheelbase and engine that was never available on the original FC in the US. Anyway, so now that I've given you a bit of info of that interesting trucks that will fit nicely in my Jeep collection, I'm gonna show you that thing. It's a new casting, if I remember correctly. At least it's new to me, but I think that, yes, 2023. Jeep FC. Again, it's done in a Hot Wheels style off-road thing, but I think it looks pretty good. So next up, we're gonna move to more Hot Wheels, but some Hot Wheel premiums, which is a bit of a new thing to me because until not so long ago, Hot Wheel premium were kinda hard to find in a mainstream store in Europe, but now they are. Now they are pricey. I think they cost between, or at least I paid them between 13 to 14 euro depending on them. So we're gonna start with that one. It's in the pop culture set, and it's the Lotus Esprit S1 from the James Bond movie, The Spy Who Loved Me. So I quite like it, and it's the car which go underwater. So I picked it because first of all I like James Bond movie, and I quite like the Lotus Esprit, which at the time was quite a spectacular looking car with, I think the only car that looked even more extreme at the time was the Lamborghini Countach, which was much more expensive, but yes. Now, later on, a lot of wedge-shaped car went into production, but I think this one was one of the first one to be very extreme in its way to look. So I won't open this because of the card art and because I think that it's the first pop culture that I have, and there's nothing interesting in the back. So yeah, I'm gonna show you briefly. I think it's a re-release. They did this car multiple times. The first time was maybe even a decade ago, but like I said, it's the first time that I have it. So it's a nice find to me. Yeah, you can see the copyright 2014. It was the first release, I believe. Anyway, so that was this one, which again I will keep guarded. And speaking of stuff that I will keep guarded, we've got the Hot Wheel Boulevard, again my first Boulevard. So we have the 60s Fiat 500D Modificado. We'll get to the car, but first we're gonna check the set, which was, the entire set was in the store, but I don't care about this, and so yeah, it's the only one which I was actually into. I mean, this one was okay, but not enough. So I think that this one looked quite good in that, now again we could say it's again Hot Wheels doing Hot Wheels thing, but it sort of looked like an Abarth racing car, so it looked good to me. I like the color, that mint green, I guess you could say, with the Italian flag and the white, and so yeah, I'm quite happy about this one. Next up, we're gonna move to two items from the same set. These two from the Japan Historic Ford. Now, first of all, I should mention that I have the full set of Japan Historic 3 from a few years ago. I will include a little shot. So I bought this, only these two. I can't remember if the entire set was in the store. I'm gonna check in the back. So that was in the store, but I wasn't too interested. I picked this one. I didn't see that one, I think, but I don't think I would have picked it anyway. I have this one, and I didn't care too much about this one. So almost a full set was there, but again, I did not want the full set. So I'm gonna keep one carded, this one, and we're gonna open this one. But first of all, we're gonna see a bit of a comparison between the card art. So this is one of the Japanese Strike 3. So you see I've kept them all carded, and you can see a bit of the difference. in the carded style, and if you want to know what was inside that set, even though I will show the picture like I said, it was very nice. This one is pretty good, but not as good, I think, at least in my opinion. Anyway, so yes, I'm gonna keep that one carded. Oh, and I didn't even told you what it was. It is because it's a 1972 Toyota Corolla Wagon, because they put it in Japanese, which I think is a nice touch. So we're gonna put this one here, but we're gonna open this one. So the 73 Honda Civic, I think it's custom or something like that, or it's just custom. Anyway, close enough. Okay, I'm back. It's finally open. So yes, what I was saying before, struggling with that stupid packaging. Yes, I've only bought the two stock looking one, or sort of stock looking one. This casting is fairly recent, but I think it's the first one in premium, I believe. So yes, so outside maybe of the lack of bumper and the slightly white fender, it looks almost stock with a nice color, with some very dark tinted window also. And so we're gonna do a bit of it. Yes, we got some nice fog light, and it said, oh, I was right, it was the RS. Civic, even though you can barely see because of the dot matrix type of print, but I guess from far away it doesn't look too bad. But anyway, so that was this one. We're gonna move again. So then we're gonna move to something which I'm gonna have to make some room. You're gonna see why I say that, because I bought this. So this is a Majorette from this year, from the anniversary edition, because this year Majorette celebrated their 60th birthday, and so they released an entire lineup of kinda retro-inspired car, including that little gift pack, which include 5 cars depicting a decade. So for instance, I'm gonna open it, but I won't take the car out of the base, because there are some elastic bands and it takes forever. So you can see the casting with the opening details, but again I'm gonna open it. I'll be right back. So here it is. So first of all, we have that 1960s DS depicting Majorette of the 60s, and you can see that they didn't only pick a car from the decade, but also they put it in the decor of Majorette of that time. So that means that this is the logo of Majorette in the early years, and you get the point. So I should mention that this is a facelift Citroën DS, yes. The early one had some more round headlight, but this is a facelift. Majorette also have a casting of the pre-facelift, and I should mention something, that in case of this and this, these castings are again are tribute casting. What I mean by that is, in the Majorette had a casting like that back in the 60s. Same thing for that Corvette. I will show an example. Same thing for that Datsun, and same thing for that Volvo. I'll show the example again. But anyway, and for the one which I don't have, like this one, I will show some picture of what I mean. So again, you can see opening doors with a very nice interior, with the nice steering wheel, that famous one-spoke steering wheel, and some nice wheels. They are fairly new wheels for Majorette, and we have some suspension. Next up, we've got the Corvette C4 from the 80s, but more or less depicting Majorette from the late 80s, early 90s. And so this time I have the old casting from the day. So it's not the same casting, like I said, you can clearly see, because this one has the roof and this one is the targa. And also because this one have opening doors, and this one it's the hood with a metal engine, and the interior look pretty good. Oops, sorry about that. I should have done that from the first. Next up, we've got the Datsun 240Z or Z or whatever. So this time I don't have the casting. Again, I will show some picture of the actual casting, which by the way I think was a 260Z and not a 240, which was the evolution of the 240Z. So again, we're gonna check. Oh, I didn't check if this one does have a little suspension. Anyway, this one does too, and it has opening door, but they are quite stiff. Oops, I banged on the other car. We have a nice brown interior and a steering wheel which is on the Japanese side, so it's a nice touch. They could have put it on the other side, because after all that car was also sold in the Western world, so but they did it in right hand drive, so it's nice. Next up, we've got something which is meant to be oh, by the way, I forgot, this is meant to be a Majorette of the 70s, early 70s. So this is Majorette in the current time. So we have the Alfa Romeo Giulia, which they released a few different times now, but again, it's my first. I'm checking the suspension. So it's a nice, it's in an arcade decor, I guess. I'm gonna show it from the back. It looks pretty good. Interior looks pretty good from what I can see. Sorry about that. I know it's kinda hard to watch for you, but like I said, I don't want to take these out of the cardboard box. But again, a nice interior, and probably my favorite, even more than the DS, that would be the Volvo 240 Wagon. It looks fantastic, and again, that's the old casting. Now you can see there are different front end, because this is the early front end when the 245 first came out in about 1974, and this one is the later one from the 80s. And back end is I think, wait a bit, different too. Yes, taillights are different, but you can see it because on these older Majorette from the time, they didn't do print on the headlight and whatnot, but they did some nice casting details. And you can see on this older one, oops, I can't. On this early one, the tailgate was opening. On this one, it doesn't, because it's actually the doors. Some quite stiff door again, and I'm gonna try to not knock everything, but yes, a nice interior again, and some nice suspension. Yep, that one is fantastic. So I'm gonna show this one here, and so the last two items, well, first of all, I'm gonna put everything a bit nicer to have everything in the shot. That's better. So the last two items, I bought two Siku. Oh, and by the way, lastly, I forgot to mention, this pack cost me about 24 euros. So, like I said, we're gonna check two Siku. So we start with this one. So we have the Piaggio Ape 50 with the nice resealable packaging, but I will display this loose. So this, I think, is a fairly new casting from Siku, although I don't pay too much attention about what Siku is doing, but I pick them up from time to time. So a little background on this. So Piaggio is an Italian company that mostly make some scooter and moped, but sometimes they are three-wheeler. In fact, this is pretty much a scooter, but with a cab and with two wheels in the back. They also did they also did them in all kind of body style, and these are more or less what are the basis from the tuk-tuk taxi or the auto rickshaw in India. And despite of this of its boxy styling, these are still made to this day, and so that's why I think Siku had made the decision to make them, because I don't think that they do too much vintage style cars nowadays. But anyway, so we have a nice opening feature. The box is plastic, the body is metal. We have three wheels. Do they give the spec on this one? No, they don't. Or maybe they do. I can't. Come on. No, they don't. Too bad. That would have been funny. So you can see again the Piaggio logo, which also make the Vespa scooter and way more stuff, like I mentioned. We have the Ape 50 logo. Ape means a bee in Italian, if you wonder. So yes, it's a cute little addition, a weird one, which is what I like, as you know. And lastly, something which to me is the star of the show. We're gonna have that thing, and I'm gonna move that. So we have a bus, more specifically an articulated bus, or in German Gelenk-Bus, or in French bus à soufflet. But we can also say bus articulé, which is a direct translation to articulated bus. Anyway, so why did I bought this outside of being a weird stuff? Well, basically, this is, despite of Siku being a German company, sometimes they do some country exclusive, and this one is a country exclusive for France, whatever, because this is in a Parisian livery. So here you can see the logo of the RATP, which is the public transit company here in Paris. So they have some bus, some trams, or streetcar if you prefer, and some metro. And so what did I bought it? Because I'm gonna tell you a bit about me for once. Because me, one of my other hobby outside of car is, well, it's public transit basically. It first started with the metro, but then it kinda evolved to a bit everything. So obviously I'm more into the one which I can actually see in my city, but again I'm a bit curious about everything. So I'm quite happy to have something of that style in my collection, and we're gonna open it. Now I should mention that despite being in a Parisian livery, this bus is a German bus. I think, even though it's unlicensed, but it's mainly based on some bus from MAN or Mercedes. And typically in Paris we do have sometimes a foreign brand bus, but we didn't get this in particular. So again, as you can see, it's doing the bendy thing. It's made out of plastic, the body I mean, but we have a metal base and a whole plastic body, and this is soft. So you can see the color, which the camera doesn't show it too great, because in reality this is more of a green. I'll show some picture again of what actual bus from the RATP. So again, the Parisian public transport company actually look like. And you can see it's line 27, which I think is an actual line. I will check, but because they changed all the line recently, it might be incorrect now. And if you want to know how it's all of these names are pronounced: Gare Saint-Lazare, Opéra, Palais Royal, Gobelin, Place d'Italie, Porte de Vitry. And we're gonna check the interior. Nothing much to check, but it's okay. We've got some ugly post again. Even Siku can't escape from that trend, apparently. But anyway, and again, I want to show you the logo a bit more in detail. Anyway, so that was everything I have to show you in that haul, the first in a while. So let me know what is your favorite, and thanks for watching.